please.
Everybody still with me? You okay in the cheap seats? Ready for the day to be over? Yeah? So I want to talk to you today about interview confidence and the two aspects of it. So firstly, in how you prepare yourself for interview, so the external factors, and also your own personal confidence and how you do that. So the ways, can everybody hear me? Sorry, I moved. Yeah. So how you prep before interview is key, and that's what will keep you really, really confident. So some key areas to look at, and we've done this, a lot of people who were talking to me today, we did this. So do your research. So the best way to be confident in any situation is to really be prepared. So do your research. Go on the company website. Make sure you've gone over the job spec. It sounds really basic. Take your CV, take your job spec, do a cross-check where your skills are, what they're looking for, and what the gaps are. So do your research on the job spec, do your research on the company, and a great resource is LinkedIn. So if anybody's not using LinkedIn at the moment, please do use it. It's a great way to see what events companies are attending, who's hiring, what the culture is like, what people are saying about it, and also you can find areas of commonality. So if you're going for an interview, so say, for example, in 3 months' time you got called for an interview with one of the companies here, a great icebreaker would be, oh my goodness, I was at your stand at the Jobs Expo. And what that's doing is it's making you stand apart from everybody else. Because look how many people are here today, all seeking jobs and job change. So you want to walk away from the interview with people remembering who you are. Oh, that's the lady who said that she lived on the same street. Or we talked about somebody on LinkedIn that we followed. Or they saw our event. So, for example, one of the companies that I was submitting a tender for, I had noticed on their LinkedIn that they were talking about female empowerment and their female leadership team. So when I was connecting with them, I was like, I see on your LinkedIn profile. It just connects you with the person. Because remember, when you're going for an interview, it's human beings. So yes, there's an interviewer, and there's you, and you're looking to close the gap. So you're looking to make a connection. So everything that you do that prepares you for the day will give you confidence. The other things that sound obvious, but not all of us think about, is wear something that you feel good in, but that you feel comfortable in. And please, guys, make sure you know where you are going and allow plenty of time to get there. Allow time. That you're there, that you're composed, you have time to gather yourself. And a little trick is in your body feels nerves and excitement in the same way. So when you're like, oh, I think I'm going to be sick, I'm so nervous, you go, I'm excited. And yes, you will look like a lunatic, but you will feel much better. And your brain will go, whew, I'm calm now, I feel great. So you want to be arriving at your interview, because if you get to interview stage, it's a perfect opportunity for you to sell yourself, promote yourself, and show how you can add value. So you want to make sure that you don't just rock up and you're not prepared. So those things will give you confidence, and anything that sets you apart. So I always say to people, connect with the HR department if you see them posting, look at who's employed by the company. If you have something in common, you might message someone and say, oh, I see we both went to college in Limerick, or I see that you follow Stephen Bartlett or something. Find areas of communality. That's always going to connect you to the interviewer. Knowing yourself is the easiest way to build your confidence. And how do we get to know ourselves? So I have given links to some people today. I didn't put the links here, but if anyone wants to reach out afterwards, I'm happy to share them. So strengths and values are very different. So a strength could be something that you are naturally good at. So maybe you're very organized. Maybe you're very disciplined, very driven, and that's a strength. And then a value is something that's important to you. So some people might like to work in social enterprise. They might work somewhere where the values are giving back to the community. Some people might have money as a value. So it's important that you understand yourself. Your strengths are going to be what bring you to add value to the company, and your values are going to mean you're in alignment. So if you've ever worked in an environment where your values aren't aligned with the company you're working for or the work ethic, then you're going to burn out. So an exercise I always do with my clients, and I mentioned it at the beginning, is take your strengths, take your values, take your feedback, I'll tell you how to do that, put it on a page over here and take the job spec. And look at all the ways that you are aligned with the company that you're interviewing with. So that's a very good visual aid. And what that also does, it calms your brain. Because people go, well, if I know it, I don't need to write it down. But the act of writing it connects you to it and it keeps you calm. It soothes your nervous system. So when you start to panic and go, oh my God, I don't think I can actually go for this interview. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe they made a mistake. You look on the page and go, no, I've got it. I know. I'm calm. Feedback is very important. What do others say about you? So I always say to somebody, if you're in a job currently, think about what people say about you. Listen, thanks so much. You pulled it out of the bag at the last minute. Oh, I can always come to you. You calm me down. You're super organised. I worked with somebody who was very good in spatial setting up, and I looked after the people element. And I used to always say to her, don't even talk to me until you have the setup, and then I'll work with the people. And she was like, I'm not working with the people. I'll put the shelving in. So you want to look at what do other people say about you. And why is that important? Because you'll notice that there's patterns. People will say the same. If you're really paying attention, you will hear the same thing over and over and over again. And that is feedback for you. That's something that other people see in you that is a natural skill that you may not realize that you have. So the Johari window is a tool that I just wanted to introduce you to. It's really, really effective in understanding yourself. And the two psychologists who created this developed it as a tool for high self-awareness. So the 4 elements of the Johari window are open, hidden, blind, and unknown. And very quickly, if you have the open area, that's what you know about yourself and what other people know about you. So if you know somebody who's very extroverted and you meet a friend and they go, do you know Mary? Oh, she's really outgoing, isn't she? And you say, yeah, she is. That's something that is very aware to other people about you and that you know about yourself. Not known to others is the hidden area. It's what we know about ourselves, but we're afraid to reveal to the outside world because we're afraid if people know this about us, they might not like us. The blind spot is where you look for feedback. So the blind spot you would work a lot with in coaching. So coaching would work like a mirror to you, but you can also get it from feedback in your work environment and in your relationships. So your blind spot is something that somebody says about you that you don't know. And sometimes it can be very difficult for us to actually accept that because oftentimes it comes as a compliment. And we're like, no. So that's why I want you to listen for the patterns in your feedback. What are people saying consistently? And the unknown is what you don't know about yourself and other people don't know about you. And you might say, well, Sharon, how do I know what I don't know when they don't know? And this is where it gets interesting. So the unknown area is things that we haven't tried. So this is when we stretch ourselves, when we go into uncomfortable situations, when we try something we've never tried before. And a lot of us shy away because we're afraid to look stupid, we're afraid to fall flat in our faces, we're afraid to fail, we're afraid people will judge us. But it's a really interesting area in personal growth. And it means that we get more and more comfortable and we develop more confidence. Even if we try something and we suck, the fact that we've tried it, we will have learned something about ourselves. And if we try something and we're really great at it, imagine how we feel then. So this is a really, really powerful tool that's used often in coaching. But you guys can use it for yourselves and look at what are things people say about me, what do I know about myself, how am I adding value, and what are areas that I might need to explore for myself. So during the interview, so you get to the interview, you've told yourself you're all excited, you're in your best gear, you look super, you're in plenty of time, so you're lovely and calm and you're nice and grounded. When you go for an interview, make eye contact. Don't be like this, looking all around the room, because it makes you look shifty. So firm handshake, eye contact. Ask questions. Be prepared to sell yourself, not just what's on your CV. So don't go in and go, and I did this, and through the mechanics of your CV. Your CV has got you to interview, so now they want to hear something that they don't know. They want to get to know you, the person. They want to find something that they like about you, and they want to find something that connects you to their organisation. So again, we're looking for something that's unique to you, but that they identify with and they recognize and they go, they're a good fit for our organization. Answer the questions that you're asked and then stop. Don't go down the rabbit hole with your nerves and your excitement and go off meandering, and the interviewer is like... So just answer the question and pause. And if they want to know more, they will. An interviewer will have a set outline of questions that they want to get through and they need the answers to. And if you answer the question and then go meandering off down a rabbit hole, they're not going to have enough time and you're going to go over time. So you don't want to do that because you'll definitely get marked down for delaying the interviewer and keeping them longer. The other thing, guys, is be yourself. Show a bit of your personality. If you're nervous, say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit nervous. I just have to take a breath." You're humanizing yourself. You're connecting with the interviewer. The interviewer could be interviewing 20 people that day. They could be tired. They could be stressed. They could be all things. And you saying something like that or connecting or making something human about you is just connecting, and then they relax. So you're not just somebody that is in front of them another number. I think we've covered this. Don't bore the interviewer. Do not bore the interviewer. With the best will in the world, you're not going to get the job if you bore the interviewer. And again, we've covered this. Don't ask so many questions at the end. Don't be so over-anxious and over-eager that you keep asking endless questions. And then the lasting impression they have of you is that they couldn't get you out of the room. They'd be like, "Oh, can't read the room, doesn't read the signals, don't want to work with them." So, what do we do after the interview? A couple of things are key here. Ask. Feel free to ask what the process is. What are the next steps? Do you know when you're likely to hear back? The interviewer wants to know that you're interested in working with them and for them, not just that you're job hunting. So you want to find the middle ground between being over-eager and irritating them and asking the question, "Listen, can I just ask, when do you expect to have made a decision?" Make sure you give a firm handshake and, again, eye contact. Smile. Just be yourself. Smile. Thank them for their time. And do send a follow-up email. You can send a follow-up email and go, "Thank you so much for your time. It was really nice to meet with you today. Very interested in your company. Look forward to hearing back." Again, human reminder. "Oh, that's Mary. Yeah, that we follow the same people on LinkedIn. Oh, yeah, she came to the event." This is very important in building your confidence, and this is the internal reflection. So this is not really about the job or the interview as such. This is about, what do you feel went well? So we've all had that experience where we come out of an interview and we're like, "Oh, that went really, really well. I'm so excited. Can't wait to hear back." And 2 days go by and 3 days go by, and then you're like, "Oh, God, I think I tanked it. I think, oh, no, they asked me that question." And you start to spiral. This is to stop you from spiraling. This is your feedback. What went well? What did I enjoy? Did I like the people that were interviewing me? Did I like the vibe when I went in? Was the girl in reception really nice? And how do I feel myself afterwards? Do I feel like I could tolerate turning up there every day from 9 to 5? Or am I feeling like, "Oh, I feel a bit, I'm not sure." Record all that and reflect on all of that. Anything you would have done differently. And that's not to beat yourself up. We don't want you to go down a rabbit hole here of judgment and blaming yourself and feeling bad. But it's important to reflect about what you would do differently or prep. Or maybe they asked you a question and caught you off guard and you're like, "Oh, really wish I'd prepped that a bit more." This is how you build your confidence muscle, because you get used to going into situations, looking at what went well, celebrating what went well, and then looking at what didn't go well, and you have an opportunity to improve on that at another time. So again, questions that caught you off guard. If there was anything that caught you off guard and you're like, sticky, you want to note that down and you want to keep a record of that for future, because you don't want to get caught off again about that. And just a quote to finish us off. So, believe in yourself and all that you are. And this is the point of today, guys. Confidence comes from practice, You know, if any of you have learned to drive, you had to get in the car. You didn't get off and just head off the M50 and go, that's me, that's perfect, I'm happy out. You had to practice, you had to build your confidence. It's the same with everything we do in our life. But know that there is something inside you that is greater than any obstacle. And this is really the message. You're all job hunting. You're all in a hard space. It's hard. It's soul-destroying. The no's, the technology, the people not answering phone calls, the judgment of yourself, I'm not good enough, no one's ever going to give me the job. I promise you, if you do the work on yourself, if you reflect on yourself, if you prepare for every interview, if you look honestly at what went well and what didn't, that builds your confidence muscle and you learn to trust yourself. So you always build on what goes well, you focus on what goes well and what worked, and then you look at what maybe didn't go so well and you go, oh, okay, I know for next time. And that way, you're establishing trust with yourself. You're knowing you can do the hard, scary things. Nobody died. You got the job, you didn't get the job. Okay, you can't control that. You can control how you show up. You can control preparation. You can control what you say. You can't control if you get the job or not. But you want to walk away knowing that you left everything on the table, that you gave it your all, and there was nothing else you could do, and it just wasn't your day. So, that's me. Thank you very much. Thanks, everyone. My favourite bit.
Brilliant. Great. So Sharon